we've got a couple of equations here that we need to solve. So we need to solve for the given variable. So let's do that. First job to do, you can see we've got brackets in both of these equations. Now when we start to solve them, the first thing we have to do is we have to multiply out of the single brackets. So let's do that in the first case. We've got, I like to identify what terms we've actually got. So that's a positive 3, a positive 4c, and in this case it's a minus 3 there. So what's going to have to happen is this term which is outside of the brackets is multiplied by each of the terms inside the brackets. So let's do that. So minus 3 times 4c, well that was going to be minus 12c, and then minus 3 times positive 3 is minus 9, and this side of the equation hasn't changed. And now we can actually solve the equation. So let's go about solving the equation. Remember, this is a balanced equation, so that means the left-hand side of the equation is equal to the right-hand side of the equation. And what that means for us is that every time we make a change on one side of the equation, we need to make the exact same change on the other side of the equation, and that keeps the whole thing balanced as we work through. So we want to isolate the c, right? We want to end with c equaling a number value. So let's get rid of this term here, this minus 9 term, and we do that by doing the opposite of minus 9, which is plus 9. So we do the inverse, and we've got to do that to both sides, remember? So that cancels out, because if you're on 0 and then you're minus 9, then you're plus 9, you're back to 0. So they cancel out. So what's left on the left-hand side of the equation? We've still got minus 12c, and on the right-hand side, we've got 81 plus 9, so that's 90. Okay, so the next stage is we have to separate or get rid of this minus 12 from the variable c. Now minus 12c, remember what that means? It means minus 12 times c, right? So what's the opposite of multiplying? Right, it's divided by. So I use the fraction bar, so divided by minus 12. Do the same to the other side, divided by minus 12. And that cancels out, multiplying by something and then dividing by the same value, it cancels out. So we've got c on the left hand side, and what's left over here is negative 7.5. Okay, so on this side here, we've got 6 times 2y, which is 12y. And we've got 6 times positive 5, so that's positive 30. And on the other side, we have minus 186. Okay, let's keep going. We can subtract the 30, so let's subtract the 30. So this leaves us on this side, on the left-hand side, with 12y. And on the right-hand side, we're going to be left with minus 216. Now let's cancel out multiplying by 12 by dividing by 12. So divide by 12 on the right-hand side as well. That cancels us. Great. Leaves us with the y all by itself. And minus 216 divided by 12 is negative 18. And that's done.